apparently my Stream Deck doesn't want to work. No.
Yes,
Trans
queen.
rights
Holy
are
shit, there we
human
go.
rights, and if you don't agree, you can fuck off.
Or it can have a conniption fit and then play everything at once. All right, sweet. Gothic, what's up? Yeah, there they are. Kaboom. All at once. Apparently my camera moved. There we go. That's a little better. A little bit. Doink. There we go. Let's be a perfectionist and let's fucking focus on that today, why don't we? There's an idea, yeah. We can do that for sure. Anywho. Hey ho, what's shaking, y'all? How you doing? Happy hump day. And all that fine jazz. I got called into the office today. It's funny when I say it like that, I get flashbacks of junior high school. I got called into the office. I'm gonna get my ass whooped. And the ever-loving fuck did I put in? I had all my notes, I really did. My wife sent me saying, what? Doing great. Went on a date last night. Oh wow, first time in 16 years. Holy shit, that's crazy. Okay, let me try and decipher that. My wife sent me the TTS to start saying I was ADHD, and guess who that was? You, because that's what you said. It was Instagram, actually. Dan's referring to your title. Oh. Okay, I'm just going to smile and nod. I'm... Confusion is a state. It's a state of life. It's a state of being. That's a state that I'm in. Very much so confused. And all of a sudden my fucking left eye is all glitchy and whatnot. Don't you hate it when that happens? Driving to work, so I will yell at you later for any callouts. Okay. Some of your TikToks over and over. Yeah, that'll do it. That will do it. Now, where in the ever-loving hell did I just put that? I just made the damn thing so that I could set it aside and put it in place here. Alright, well, I guess we're just gonna... We're just gonna use this, I guess. It's alright. I'm not gonna start that until, you know, we have a little chitty chat and see what's going on with everybody. And yes, I know that you're referring to the title of the stream. TikTok told you that you have ADHD. Was it right? That's because today's topic is about, actually, partially an article that I covered 4 years ago. Would you believe? Yeah, you probably would believe, because I'm that guy. Yeah, it was... the article that I covered 4 years ago was only one of 5 that they put together for this. So that's what we will be going over today. A little bit later. 53% new footage. And 36% more coffee. I feel like I could make a commercial right now out of that. I don't know why. Sorry, I'm very confused. I promise, I'm medicated and everything, so like, today's just like a fucking out the window kind of day, I guess. So, sorry about that. IR confusion. Wrong one. Oh yes, I did want to thank those of you that did partake in the forum. That was another thing that I had pulled up. There we go. I am waiting on close my ankle and and back X-rays. Waiting for that. Will you fuck all the way off? Apparently, it just doesn't want to. Whatever. Point being, thanks for those of you that actually did the exclamation form and filled out my little questionnaire on this here little series, coaching series, scholar series. I don't know, my coaching streams. So, because I was actually kind of unsure as to whether they were doing any good, right? Because I mean, I get it. Sometimes it's just kind of like a, sit back and listen to me ramble about the shit that I found, whatever, or the things that we're talking about. And I get that. And then sometimes it's just kind of like, okay, I'm not getting a whole lot of feedback here, so unmedicated doctor decided to retire and not tell anybody or refer. Oh God. Oh, that sucks. Dude, and saw me from having the worst brain fart I've had in years. No, and it won't. That's the thing. Like, remember, meds are just a tool. Just a tool. They're only there to help. They're not a magic fucking wand that just makes shit go away, unlike what a lot of people seem to think. But I'm trying to remember if I wanted to address any of these besides pick on Nadia less, and we all know that's not going to happen. Anti-generations created a month back in checking back pain, degenerative disc disease runs in the family. Oh yeah, okay, that's a good reason to get it checked. Absolutely. Yeah, hashtag bully Nadia. We're gonna make that a thing. Hashtag bully Nadia. Poor Nadia. Let me see here. Can't think of anything. Keep doing them. Might be an idea to branch out to the comorbidities. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna address some of these suggestions that I got in here. Remember these? Excuse me. Remember these came. Hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here, and apparently I'm lodged in your fucking throat. Yay! All right, let's try that again. As I said, these are 100% anonymous, except for obviously pick on Nadia less. Gee, I wonder who put that one. So I don't know who put these. I don't care who put these. That's not what I don't care. I just wanted the feedback. So let me see. It might be an idea to branch out to the comorbidities if something you're comfortable on branching out to. Of course I am. I mean, I've covered the comorbidities for fucking 6 years, going on 6 years now, right? The comorbidities are a part of it. It's just an unfortunate circumstance, right? ADHD is the buy one, get 9 free, right? Things like autism, BPD, bipolar, shit like that. Branch out to some of the comorbidities. It is something that I have looked into. Remember, when it comes to some of these, like BPD, bipolar, for example, just because they're quick and easy, I am not a pro on them. I can give you the information that I find on them 100%, like I always do. But again, I'm no professional on them. I'm no professional on ADHD or autism either. But I mean, I don't know near as much about them as I do the others. DID, fucking not a chance. Not even a hope. The only reason that I say that is because I have a hard time wrapping my mind around it as it is, right? So like any of the DID stuff in the server and whatnot, that gets handed to Gothic, that gets handed to the bus for the most part, right? Like stuff like, because they're obviously they live it, they know it, right? I don't. And for the majority of times, actually, I'll even say this: we had a bit of an incident in the plural area not long ago, right? For the greater part, a lot of the mods just kind of like push that over to them, because we don't necessarily have the ability to look at it through the same lens, right? So any kind of a problem that way, they're going to be a lot more empathetic because they understand it, they live it, right? But when it comes to articles about DID, sure, I mean, I'll look into it if it's requested. If you guys have a request for any of the any stream suggestions, like coaching suggestions, that's what the Coach's Corner channel is for, way up at the top, right? Put your suggestions in there, even for like articles and whatnot. You had to step away from the plural chat. I typically don't even go in there because it doesn't, unless, you know, I need to, kind of thing. A lot of it doesn't pertain to me. Some articles in the plural quarter. Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, you know, if that's a requested thing, then yeah, you know, put it up in the Coach's Corner. Request it there, right? I had somebody request some stuff on PDA, right? So I'm gonna see what I can pull for that, and you know, maybe I'll make it a Substack article. By the way, exclamation Substack. I haven't been feeling my my hometown best in the last few days, so I haven't posted anything there. But I have the article that I'm going to post next is actually the one that we're going to be talking about today. So it'll come with all the sources, and I do have all the sources for this one here as well. So if anyone, you know, if anyone wants any of the sources, they're always available to you guys. All you got to do is ask, and I'll be happy to send them to you. Anywho, but yeah, comorbidities, yeah, I can absolutely branch out and try and look into some of those. If you have any specific ones, again, request up in the Coach's Corner. I'll absolutely get to them. PLA like the filament. Yes, PLA is absolutely the filament. That's right. Pathological Licking Association. It's a brand new club. Check it out. PDA. As in polar dumbass. PDA. If possible, the interplay of ASD, ADHD, ADHD, and physical disabilities. Yeah, things like POTS, endo, stuff like that. I have I actually came across some articles where some articles prior that kind of put a bit of an association on. I can absolutely look into that. Cover them both together, seconded evenly. That's the idea. I try to. I try not to favor one over the other. I try to do an even split on them because that's who I am. Like, not saying that that's what I do. I mean, like, that's literally who I am. So that's why I try and cover them evenly. What's that? PDA? Pathological demand avoidance. Twitch did a weird thing. That is not a shock. PDA, yeah, pathological demand avoidance. It is not something that is in the DSM. It's not something that is officially a subsect, as it were. I do know about that. Yeah, like it's kind of working its way in. Like there is actual diagnostic stuff on it. There's a whole list. I think there's like 8 or 9 things, don't quote me on that, that they check off for if they want to assign you a diagnosis, as it were, a subset diagnosis of PDA under autism. I was 1 item short. I think the threshold is 5. I came up with 4, so I'm close enough. 9, if not more. I think it's 9. I think it's 8 or 9 that they actually have listed. It's recognized in the UK, but it's been a while. I would have to double check the ICD. I don't think it's in the ICD 11. It might come out in the 12. Heavily recognized. That's fair. It's probably something that they're working to push in, as it were. You know what I mean? Giggity. Doctor rewarded stuff for me on my test. Perfect. Yeah, my therapist slash diagnostician slash psychologist. Yeah, she recognizes it, right? So there's that. But yeah, PDA is the thing that I'm going to try and look into and see if there is any, if there's any good articles on it. And if so, I will be posting them on my Substack. Again, exclamation Substack, which is free for everybody. I'd like to, I got to drill that point home. The basic information is free for everybody. If it says it's a paid article, that just means that the deeper dive stuff, it's the stuff where I go into like a lot of the clinician stuff, the parenting stuff, the coaching tips, etc. But the basic information is free for everybody. Speaking of therapy, yeah, hey, thanks, I appreciate that. I have I've got 2 therapist appointments coming up next week, so yeah, any little bit doesn't hurt my feels, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, yeah, so I did want to address that. I did want to address any of the comments there on the forum. Again, thank all of you who did take the time to fill that out. I really, really appreciate that. And you know what? I'm going to keep it up for a little while. So if anybody else who has not got into it has any suggestions, any questions, any thoughts for like what to do with the coaching streams going forward, exclamation forum, just fill that out, okay? 100% anonymous, and I'm going to keep it that way. I don't care who you are, I just want the feedback. All right. So, as you can tell, I got called into the office today and did not have the proper opportunity to set all this shit up like I wanted. But that's okay. That is okay because I can do it now. We're going to put this over here. That's what we're going to do. Yes, we are. Thank you, Dan. All right, content. I believe that was a short, and I believe it was March 13th, 2002, if I recall. And the reason that I'm digging this up is pertinent to the rest of the stream, because it is one of the articles that actually is part of today's discussion. One more second, just bear with me here. Fuck, I used to post a lot of videos, huh? I wish I still had that energy, man. Boy, do I ever. Sorry, I'm just going to bring this down a little bit. Just occurred to me that might be a little bit loud. Come on, you sumbitch. Trying to go all the way back to 2002 through my my YouTube history. It takes a couple of minutes. God damn, I used to post a lot of videos. My boy, oh boy. Where are we here? We're in April of 2002. Come on, let's keep going. March 13. All right, okay. Open that new tab. And why is OBS hidden? There we go. There we go. All right. Time kicks all our asses, right? It sure does. All right. So, hello, Miss Puffles, also known as eh. At least that's how my daughter pronounces that. Eh. That one there? Yes, that's the one I want. Okay. let us skip over to here. And by doing so, wow, man, professional fucking streamer today. Like, look at all that proness going on. Proness, that's a real word now. All right, there we go. What's cooking? I'm guessing that a lot of you are going to be cooking after today's stream, because that's how it works, the callouts. It's the Wednesday coaching stream, so feel free to join in, strap in, join the conversation, all that good jazz. So I had some friends send me this, and I find this super interesting as well as very relevant to what I preach. What they sent me was this article on a new... Hold that thought. Gotta turn that up. Boop. Let's try that again. So this, like I said, is one of the articles that was included in today's information. So I don't know how many of you remember this from 4 years ago, almost exactly 4 years and 2 weeks ago. Jesus Christ. I look so much younger. So I had some friends send me this, and I find this super interesting as well as very relevant to what I preach. What they sent me was this article on a new study that just came out in the Canadian Journal of Psychology. What the study has shown is that there is a high level of misinformation being shown about ADHD in videos on TikTok. Now, at the time of the study, which was July 18th, 2021, the hashtag ADHD was the 7th most popular hashtag on the platform. Now, that in itself is awesome because that has helped spread awareness about the disorder over the past 2 years. However, for their study, they looked at the top 100 videos under the hashtag, the average of which had 2.8 million views. Of those 100 videos, only 11 were actually published by healthcare professionals. 21% of them were deemed useful with good scientific information. 27% were viewed as personal experience. But it's this number right here, 52% were classified as misleading because they lacked proper scientific evidence. Now, in and of itself, the study to me is very interesting, but it also reinforces the importance of using good peer-reviewed scientific information. This is why when I'm not just speaking about my own personal experience, I'm so adamant about using trusted sources. This is also why I call out misinformation when it's presented, because it can be damaging to our already stigmatized community. And with more than half of the top 100 videos being considered misleading and inaccurate, our fight still has a long way to go. So I had some friends send me this. So that's, I found it amusing because this in the past 4 days, this new study was dropped like a few days ago, literally a few days ago. I'm just gonna bring that down a bit. So yeah, this new study just came out, and what am I doing? I'm clicking over to here. Yeah, this new study just come out, and that was one of the ones that it included in its gathering. It gathered 5 different studies, and yeah, so that's what we're going to touch on today. You guys all good with that? Oh yeah. Like, where the fuck did I put it? It's in Claude. Never mind. I have it in the sidebar. I'm good. I'm good. I know what I'm doing. Once again, as Dan and I both say, pro streamer. Yep, bring the trauma. It shouldn't be too much trauma. Actually, it shouldn't be too bad today. Hey, what's up there? How you doing, good sir? All right. Let us begin. And feel free to ask any questions along the way. This is not a script. This is just, I didn't script this one because I've already gone over this. I'm untraumaing today, by the way. Okay, well, I'm glad this one shouldn't be trauma. This one is just going to be like calling out content creators, I think, for the most part. Nomi, how you doing? Actually, it was Nomi who asked me about the PDA. We had a conversation the other day. So yes, I am going to look for that article. See, I did remember. I took notes. I even posted it in my Coach's Corner channel, where any of the requests for any of the articles or any of the topics you guys want me to cover, that's where they go. So I even put it in there as a note to myself. Except for bullying, hashtag bully Nadia. Hashtag blame Nomi, that's right. The PDA callouts, that's going to be all Nomi's fault. All right. So, again, I thought it was really funny, though, when if you guys don't know the process that I do this, what I will do is I will, because I get literally between 100 and 140 articles sent to me every week. And I have Claude go through them every Sunday night. I sit down and go, okay, go through my emails because I cannot open them. Because if I open them, I get overwhelmed, like immediately. Because each email has 10 of them, right? I get 2 of them at a time. 10 articles on ADHD, 10 articles on autism. If I open the emails, I get fucking overwhelmed, so I don't even open them anymore. I have Claude open them for me. He's got access to my email. I just say, okay, dude, go check through the emails, see what's interesting in there, what pertains to our community, stuff like that. Oh, it's a big time info overload. And then out of those up to 140 articles, he is tasked with narrowing it down to 10. And then out of those 10, we will pick the ones that I will write the articles on, and then some to do with the stream. So in the case of this week and last week and the week before, and normally I don't, but apparently it's my new thing. In the last couple of weeks, I have turned Wednesday into discussions about the articles because they just pertain to us. This one here specifically, and I thought it was hilarious when this one came up because I'm like, I remember that fucking article. I remember it. And then I saw the name in the sources. By the way, again, I have all the sources. If you want them, just DM me and I'll send them to you. So yeah, it reminded me that I did do this video, and I spent about 45 minutes trying to hunt that video down because I'm like, I know I did this video. But yeah, it was interesting to find because now bathroom's calling. Is it Dan? Here, Dan. Actually, before I move to that, it's funny because I've been calling this shit out and calling for peer-reviewed, scientifically accurate information the entire time. I have never diverged from that, and I'm proud of myself for that. So those of you that want to swing the love bat, there you go. There's your freebie. I'm proud of myself for that I haven't changed my... I haven't stepped down from the high ground. Anyway, did anyone find their ADHD diagnosis pathway through TikTok or social media? No shame. I'm just genuinely curious. How many people have found their diagnosis, ADHD or autism for that matter, through social media? I'm genuinely curious. ADHD for me, no, because I've had that all my life. The autism one though, yes I did. I sure fucking did. Because of people in the community and comparing my life experience to theirs. And then knowing where to find the diagnostic criteria to compare my life to, right? Why is that one? This chat is not. Anyway, one's not working. Well, my enlightenment for both. Send me down the rabbit holes. Me, autism, even though I have a kid with autism. It was a pandemic, yeah, and TikTok, yes it was, for most people. I did partially also because teacher, she thinks Ollie had it, and I read about it, and sounded like me too. Yeah, same with me. Jasa, right? Jasa got her diagnosed. She was getting set up to get hers, and I'm like, ruh-roh. Because that looks like me. So yeah, it's funny how that works. Or at the very least, I can say I've had ADHD my whole life, but I cannot say that I understood it until I started doing this and found people in the community and that's fair. That is really pissing me off that this chat here is not working. Click. There we go. Refresh. Work, goddammit. Alright, anyway. So, what the research actually found was that out of combining these 5 articles, Because in the previous one, it was up to 52%, and that was only out of 100 videos that they checked. Well, now combining all of this information, these five different articles, they now found that between half and 92% of the information that is coming out there is misleading, or disingenuous, or clickbait, or some asshole just dancing and pointing up saying, "These are the 5 reasons you have ADHD." Up to 92%, depending on which study you look at. That is beyond disheartening. That really is. That's beyond disheartening. That's... I want to say that's disgusting, honestly. But that's, how I look at it. But between half and 92% is misleading, depending on the study. The misleading content, by the way, the not just the clickbait stuff, but all of the misleading shit in general, it got most of the engagement. 99% of the likes and comments and shares was all of this misinformation bullshit. That's disturbing. It's bad enough that the information that we get it's hard to come by. We're already heavily stigmatized. But then to add on top of it, that, as Dan puts, the lazy content, by the way, med check if you haven't yet, the lazy content, as it were, all of that misinformation, 99% of the likes, the comments, the shares, and all of that. As somebody who is a creator and is throwing their meds on the floor, I'll have to get that sooner than later because I don't want Sabine to get that one. It's hard with AI getting pretty good at mimicking as well. Well, that's just another problem that we have on top of it. And make it right. Yeah, that's just another problem that we have on top of it, is the AI. But even before that was a problem. I know they go in the mouth, Jay. Unlike Quit Your Bitchin', which, well, we'll play that on the self-care break. But yeah, that's even before AI. You can't even blame it on that. It's just people spreading bullshit. It's bullshit for clicks, is what it is. And it's beyond disturbing. I'm just going to snooze that for the moment. But yeah, to think that 99% of the likes, shares, comments, engagement, blah, blah, blah. Only 11% of the creators in one study, and that was the one that I covered 6 years ago. What are we discussing? Well, we're not that deep into it. It is about, it's all the rage bait, that too. About there was a new study that dropped within the last few days, like literally within the last few days. And it includes 5 studies. One of them I already covered when it originally came out back in 2022. And it was about how more than 50% of the information that is out there on social media is misinformation. So we're going over that today. Because all of these 5 studies put together, now it's between half and 92% of the information is misleading at the very least, misinformation at the worst. So yeah, only 11% of the creators in one study were healthcare professionals. That was the one study that I checked in 22. Only 11 out of the 100. And the algorithm does not give a fuck about accuracy. It cares about engagement. That's the problem with any kind of information on social media, is that it doesn't matter how good, how curated the content you put out is. The algorithm doesn't give a shit. It cares about the engagement. It doesn't care about the accuracy. Pretty much all neurodivergency and mental health issues. Sorry, for which? Sorry, just reading my notes here. Oh, yeah. All mental health stuff. and more than that, right? Don't even get me started on the political stuff, because that is like almost 100% bullshit. But yeah, let's stay on point here. When it comes to any of the mental health stuff, it is very, very heavily, it's bad enough that it is heavily stigmatized, but then add on to it, we have upwards of 92% of the information, the content that's out there is, again, misleading at best and total bullshit at the worst, right? That's something that, and many of you who have followed along for long enough, you guys know that I have fought against that hard, aggressively, to the point of getting banned more than once. Most what I see is reworded bullshit. Yeah, they just take somebody's bullshit and rearrange the words. Yeah, I'm not going to cheat off your test, but I came at me with some regurgitated depression help. I wanted to fucking throw a bunch of. I'll watch the rest of the stream later. Alright, hashtag bully Nadia. That was a weird thing for it to catch. Anyway, yes. It is a lot of bullshit that is reworded just for the sake of engagement, right? Somebody get in. I was going to go into a different rant. We're not going to go there. Hashtag BN. Just shorten that down. Already got an acronym for it. Game talk. But yeah, anyway, it's disturbing. Again, it's disturbing. But it leads into something else that I want to talk about. We're going to do that after the self-care break. You're hilarious. Watch my entire playthrough so far. Good job. Did you win? Are you winning? Oh, we're not picking on you, Nomi. We love you. That was social media where someone fact checks every post. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? Well, I mean, technically that would be Twitter, because anybody can fact check any post. It's just, you know, how well they fact check it, I guess. I'm a Peter Bread, though. I mean, kind of. Anywho. Alright, so let's do this. We're going to jump into a self-care break here real quick. So grab yourself a snack, grab yourself some water, you know, do the meds, do the blah, blah, blah. Is it worth starting a fight on Twitter, though? Is it worth me reactivating my Twitter account? Is the question I ask. Give the job to Young House if they're willing, able. That leftovers for yeah, no. Twitter, hell no. That's right. That's why I have got, that's why I'm on Blue Sky. Anyway, all right. Self-care break. Grab yourself some water, a snack, hit the bathroom, pet your dog, check on your wife, refill your coffee. Anyway.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Take your meds if you need to.
Are you neurotypical? Do you have one of those pesky neurodivergents in your family? You know the ones. The type who are just lazy, don't try hard enough, and always forgetting things like dates, keys, times, people, places, and just where the hell they put your favorite coffee cup? Well, say no more. Hi, I'm Willie Everdoit from ADHD Incorporated. And thanks to our recent takeover of Baronde Labs, which was not hostile in any way, ADHD Pharmaceuticals is proud to present to you the cure to all your problems. Introducing Quitrovectin. With its patented Swedish formula, these suppositories are just what your doctor was afraid to order. With only 2 of these little yellow bum bullets, just give yourself the old finger cram dunk, and a little quitch will scratch that itch. Ah, that's some good fanny rocket.
Due to a recent lawsuit, we are legally obligated to advise you to consult your doctor before taking Quitrovectin. Side effects may include knocking your ass out. No, seriously, that's it. Good night, sweet prince. No one has to hear your ignorant, invalidating bullshit for at least a week.
Quitrovectin. Just stuff it up your ass and quit your bitchin'. Available now at your local ADHD Incorporated pharmacy.
Welcome to another episode of Nobody Asked, the segment where we give you information that nobody asked for.
The sperm of a mouse is longer than the sperm of an elephant, but neither as long as the sperm of a fruit fly. The more you know.
This has been Nobody Asked.
You rely on coffee, but does your coffee rely on you? At ADHD Incorporated, we've rewritten the bean. Introducing Coffee.exe, the first beverage that updates itself nightly and occasionally reboots your motivation.
User detected. Launching productivity protocol.
What? Not again. Please don't.
With Coffee.exe, every sip floods your neurons with quantum caffeine, a compound so strong it briefly collapses time, like a black hole of rich, full-bodied flavor.
He's been typing for 36 hours. I don't think he has stopped to eat in days.
Ugh, no wonder it smells like piss and shame in here.
Somebody help me!
Mission complete.
That was your mission?
It's going to take a week to air out that smell.
Make it stop! I can smell words!
Coffee.exe from ADHD Incorporated for when consciousness is optional and sleep is only a suggestion.
I'm calling HR. This shit can't be legal.
with the current... Never mind. I'm not even asking. I don't want to know. Don't want to know. Alright. Hope you're able to grab yourself some snacks or whatnots. Speaking of getting your shit together. Etc., etc. Sorry, my chat filter is not working properly, so I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Because, you know, that does happen. And I don't want that to happen. I would much rather that not happen. If you know what I'm saying. Click. Alright, there we go. All set. Oakley dokley. Still need to organize the house because I have no party in 2 days. Not sure I believe you. I may or may not have something to show a couple of you, by the way. I'm just debating. I'll think about it a little more. We'll get to it a little later. Again, thank you to all of you who did exclamation form and filled out that little form about the coaching streams so that I could get some information. It's still going to be up for a while, so if you guys have not had a chance to enter information into that, it is 100% anonymous. I don't care who the person is. I just want the information, the feedback on the coaching streams so that I can kind of go forward with a little bit more. Okay. So that way I can stream with confidence. Sorry, it was sounding like a commercial anyway. Oh, thanks. Yeah, speaking of therapy, hey, I've got 2 therapy sessions next week. I'm just saying, if anybody wants to help, that's cool. If you can't, I still love you. And now that the train is back, remember the only way to get a car on the train is to be a Twitch subscriber. I'm trying to find a way to incorporate YouTube. It is a lot harder than one might think it is. Yeah, sorry I don't have a train one anymore. I could turn that back on. Hey, Siege. Hey, Demon Daddy, what are you wearing? I mean, because it knows you. It's Google. It knows everything. Oh, do what you do, Peter. It's not mandatory. I'm just saying. If you want to get a train card, that's how you do it. I don't know who. Yeah, let's get back on topic here before I go straying way too far. It's a good way to confuse me there, Dan. Good job. All right, so this one here is worth addressing because they found out of these 5 articles that there are these 5 studies that they put together. There you go. Out of these 5 studies that they put together, what they found was a substantial, and this is going through comment sections, and out of these videos where, again, 92% of which was either bullshit or just misleading, in the comment sections, they went through them, they looked at them, they studied them, blah, blah, blah. They found that there was an exceptionally high rate and occurrence of the Dunning-Kruger effect, which does not surprise me in any way, shape, or form. Being somebody who has addressed misinformation, fought against it, who has, again, been banned for it, yeah, a very high rate of the Dunning-Kruger effect. in all of these comments. People who watched misinformation came away more confident in wrong beliefs than people who watched nothing. I want to say how fucked up is that, but I know exactly how fucked up it is. And how stupid it is. And how accurate it is. Because again, I'm sure, I mean, I know Mama knows. Because Mama has gone through my comment sections before and taken swings at people. Right? Like, the level of just unabashed, you know, sheer confidence that was completely unearned. And yes, microwave your marshmallows. Dunning-Kruger effect is, and there's actually a scale on this. Basically, think of it like this. If you get into a brand new subject, it's the less you know, the more confident you are. I'm a sucker for misinformation. Let me show you. Actually, we're going to pull up a scale. I'm going to pull up a picture here for you, Jay. Dunning-Kruger effect. There we go. All right. And actually, we'll get... I was looking for the graph, but there's your definition right here. Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias where people with limited knowledge or competence in a domain greatly overestimate their knowledge or competence. This occurs because that same incompetence that leads to poor performance also prevents them from recognizing their lack of skill, often resulting in said unjustified confidence. Now, where's the graph? Okay. So we're going to go with this one here. Okay. So basically, this is how much you know about something. Let's pull the picture up. This is how much you know about something. And this is how confident you are in your abilities or your knowledge, so you think, in said topic or task or ability or whatever, right? As soon as you start something, you seem to think you know a whole bunch of shit about it. And you are completely, as it says, ignorant. And then once you start to know more, you realize, oh fuck, I really don't know that much. And then as you gain more knowledge, you start to climb in your confidence in it, right? But in most cases, it still doesn't match how much you thought you knew when you started the task. That's why I lack confidence. I know too much. There you go. Yeah, very different from the Freddy Krueger effect. Yes, very much so. Yeah, they say you wake up dead from that. Anyway, so yeah, that's the basics of the Dunning-Kruger effect. So, putting that, with this in mind, how much of that have we seen in some of my comment sections of people who seem to think that they know a whole lot more than they actually do? Up until they realize, oh shit, I really don't know that much, right? If I was to legitimately put myself on this graph somewhere when it comes to my knowledge and whatnot, I'm gonna guess somewhere around here. If I was to guess, right? I'd put myself somewhere about here. But that's just me. Anyway, clickety-click. People watch sports on TV? Yes. Depends white belt. You must master the phrase. I know nothing about Taekwondo. No shit. Your comment section a couple times. Nope the fuck out permanently. Yeah, I don't blame you. Anyone with the following leaves an opinion. I can praise my knowledge. I just don't say that I'm an expert. I just know stuff that can help others. Exactly. And you know what? I feel the same way. Right? I say that a lot. I am not a professional. I don't know everything. I'll be the first to admit I don't know everything. Right? I will happily admit that I don't know everything. And there's always more to learn, right? That, especially getting 140 fucking articles a week. That's one way to kind of get your knowledge base up a little bit. The only problem is I damn near forget the information just as quickly as I learn it. In a lot of cases. But, call them copy-paste people. Yes. Alright, question for you guys. Have you ever walked into an appointment absolutely certain that you knew what was going on, the clinician told you something different, and you dismissed them? Because this is what they were talking about when it came to some of the information pulled from, or some of the misinformation, I guess, pulled from some of these situations. There were a lot of people that they thought they knew what was up. They went into the clinician. The doctor told them something different than what they were expecting, and they just fucking dismissed them out of hand and went to go find somebody else who basically would agree with them. Right? That whole confidence that they had in that situation may not have been earned. It's not a character flaw, don't get me wrong. But that's what misinformation exposure does, right? If you find an article or see something on the news or hear from a creator, whatever, something that they are 100% confident in, right? They present it totally confident, absolutely confident. You know, I know everything about this, blah, blah, blah. And what they recite to you is a bunch of bullshit, and then you hear that. Not this is the the royal you. People hear that, and then they all of a sudden get this confidence that of their own, because they heard something that they were absolutely certain was true. Because why would this person lie to me? That's right. Do your own research, peoples, and by own research, peoples. We're not talking about me. We're not talking about some other jagoff who's dancing and pointing at fucking stickers. We're talking about peer-reviewed, scientifically accurate articles when it comes to this stuff. Disability hunters, I know some of them. We should make that little... What? I don't get that. A guy on TV told me to talk to my doctor about... I don't know what that is, but don't do it. Anyway, all my Facebook posts are bullshit. That's my specialty. Your Facebook posts are the fucking highlight of my day, dude. Like, yes, they are 100% bullshit. Yes, they absolutely are. And they are the fucking highlight of my day. No lie. No fucking lie. I've yoinked more than one of those. I love your Facebook post, dude. Glad to be of service. Scientific research, those people called geeks at school and now know more than you and have a fuck ton more money than you. You're still on a ban for 10 more days? Good God. Hopefully it's not a real... Yeah, I didn't know what the hell that was, so if you were making something up, congratulations, your misinformation fooled me. Right? Thanks for actually proving the point. I don't know if you did that on purpose. If not, you inadvertently proved my point. Or at least played into it. Right? What if somebody was in here and read that, and now they're going to go hunting for an ambivaloxian? I was a geek. Where's my money? Me too. Right? So actually, that's a perfect example. So thanks for that. Not on purpose. Just for shits and gigs, right? 5-year ban. I don't know when to keep my mouth shut. We've met you. Facebook's trying some of these patches to ensure. Went hard on the AI. I was skeptical from the start. It doesn't even need to be AI for you to be skeptical of it. I see a whole bunch of videos when I'm scrolling, whatever, or rather, a whole bunch of ads one that I'm seeing now is like, and it's funny because they're all trying to sell you these miracle whatever, right? Here's your miracle fucking fat liposuction patch. You know, whenever I see something like that, I automatically think of food. Stay with me. It'll make sense. Whenever I see one of these little, or, you know, one of these, what was that thing that they had years ago? It was that belt you wrapped around your stomach and like, you know, Robin Williams made fun of it. You know, snake oil does your, you know, zap your fat ass while you sit on the couch, right? And then you get hard abs. It doesn't work like that. But I automatically go back to the sweat belt. That was another one. Gastric banding. Okay, that's a little deeper, but that one actually does work to a degree. But yeah, I always think of food. You know why? Grandma's home-cooked goodness in a can. No, it doesn't work like that. It is nowhere near Grandma's home-cooked goodness. Especially if it comes from a fucking can. That's why I... See, you see what I did there? You connected... You all got fucking ADHD. You were able to connect the dots. But anyway, yeah. That's what I think of when I see these little patches. Right? Here's your little gastro fucking whatever it is. You know, we will make you drop 250 pounds in less than a year if you use these. I'm lost in one home cooked food. Fair enough. Canned laughter is just about, oh god, yes. Mama says I don't have... Which mama? As in Polar Bear Mama? Polar Bear Mama lies, and you know that. She says things. I got a can of unicorn. Excellent. The Scottish national animal. Neither do I. Right. Right. Where did I put that button? Where did I put that?
90% of the time, I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
It's true. I just don't believe you. Me and my fat ass don't believe you. Yeah. I don't believe them either. But I have to laugh at them. I do have to laugh at them. And then the comparison... Okay, that might be the AI. You never know. For legal reasons, that is not my fucking voice. No, it is not. That is not Jay's voice. Summer Kevin we used to go to had a can of dehydrated water for emergencies. So a can of air? I just faked it and tricked everyone. Congratulations, you've even tricked yourself into believing your own bullshit. Good job. That's what SpongeBob ever. That's funny. All right. Okay. All of that being said, best masking ever. We are now going to go into a topic that is near and dear to my heart because it's actually my stance on self-diagnosis. I'm Ben Stiller on stilts. Are you? You're funnier than him. Not that it takes much. And I've said it very, very clearly for like fucking 6 years. It's like 5'7". Shut up, man. I'm shrinking. I'm down to 5'8". Broke my heart when I found that out a couple days ago. Oh well. But yes, my stance on self-diagnosis. You all know it. You all know it very well. Very clearly. There is no room for misinterpretation. Well, I give myself rectal exams on the regular. No, you finger your own ass. There's a difference. Doing it in a clown costume does not count as self-diagnosis, Jay. I don't know how many times we've had this talk before. There's a difference. Anywho, my Miss Grandma used to say she was shrinking to fit into her box. I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm diagnosing. Uh-huh. They call that the finger cram dunk. Weren't you listening? That is hilariously morbid. Anyway. Yeah, you all know my stance on it. I don't think I need to repeat myself. But yeah, the dancing video captions versus peer-reviewed criteria are not the same thing. In case you didn't know. If you don't know, now you know, ninja. See what I did there? Anyway. Personally, what I do is I draw the line between self-diagnosis is invalid and self-diagnosis based on bad information is unreliable. Doctor basically said, I'm not sure if I'm self-diagnosed anymore. If a doctor backed you up, I would say so. I mean, you don't need a certificate, do you? Does he have it in his notes? Did he put it in the system? If so, congratulations. You saved yourself $2,000, I guess. Same with my wife. She doesn't have a paper. She doesn't have a fancy little fucking scroll that says, no, congratulations, you've got the ad HUD. No. Our family doctor said, I'm prescribing this because it's an ADHD med. You know, I don't know for certain, but I'm pretty sure he's got that listed in her notes in the system. And if not, whatever. The doctor said it, good enough. Gold star and a parking permit, nice. Does she have a nice box though? Well.
It's a nice box!
5.5. It didn't happen. Yeah, like diplomas we can put on the wall. Yeah, I mean, that's why I got those two. You didn't know that? I didn't spend that money and go through and fucking take all that time just to not get certified. Certifiable. I've been told that for years. But, just to say it one more time, loud enough for those at the back of the room, just to make sure that there is no confusion whatsoever. Welcome to my house. Your self-diagnosis here, if done with the proper research, and that means by using peer-reviewed journals, comparing your life experience, which is valid, regardless what it is, comparing your life experience to that of others, to that of diagnostic criteria, going through the DSM and looking at all the pretty little notes and saying, holy shit, that's me. Your self-diagnosis is 100% valid here in my house. With the caveat of, back it up by doing the work. You do that, I will die on the hill for you. Now you know. That's why I got my class 1. No, it's to drive a fucking bus. BuzzFeed quizzes count. Sure they do. Up to 20 pictures, I believe. They may have more. I guess it would depend on the quiz. But I'm pretty sure they're all numbered. 15 out of 20, something like that. So, those of you who did do self-diagnosis and take that route, what did it actually look like? And by that I mean, where did you look? What sources did you use? What information did you seek out? How did you come to the conclusion that you were, insert acronym here? Too much homework. That'll do it. Any more than 20 pics will lose my attention. Unless they're kitties. If they're kitties, you got my attention. What about 5-minute crafts? Name me a good 5-minute craft. Class may be followed by a couple of books and a guy that you don't like. A couple of books by a guy that you don't like. Ah, yes. Too many rabbit holes, yeah. I'm in the light of the dock, and he let me into the door with meds. I mean, there you go. A crap ton of reading, research, and taking valid tests. There you go. You can't tell me, like, tell me about 5-minute crafts. I literally know nothing about it. I've heard about it before. And the 5 stages. Yeah, that sums me up too. Very much so. The problem is I keep regressing on the stages. I go all the way through and then I jump back to another one. Think he wanted you to leave. He was tired of your shit. This is all my research going through reading the papers. He's like, okay, yeah, just take these and fuck off. 5-minute crafts is ridiculously bad. Okay. 5 stages are being validated. 5-minute crafts, a bullshit YouTube channel with the how to. Oh, is it that guy who does it in the POV perspective and he always like smashes up fucking toast and stuff? Started as a hobby diagnosis based on my frustrations, and the doctor took him seriously. And a big test. Turns out I haven't had pot since I was 13. It's why I get violently ill going through stores. Ugh. Well, Heidi Ho, how you doing there, Moon? Oh, I don't know why that just reminded me. Yeah, those of you that were at the last rave, it's up on Patreon now. I put it up there this afternoon because, sorry it took so long. Those of you who have been watching me, you know, I've been going through the motions with the MS and shit. So yeah, sorry it took a while. But it's up there. The last rave is up. If you want access to the rave, hey, there's a great segue into my shitty self-promotion. If you ever want a copy of the raves that we have, they're available to the top tier patrons, which is only $10. But yes, you do that, you have access to everything, including a full copy, downloadable, of the entire rave. Last time was, I didn't even look at the time on it. 3.5, I want to say, hours? Since I happen to have my SoundCloud open. 4 hours and 9 minutes. 4 hours and 9 minutes, the last rave. So there you go. Anyway, and thank you, Jay. Then I went and researched and currently being trying to accommodate instead of just trying to function widely. I mean, that's fair. It's funny you say that, Jared. In some places, they consider it to be. It's weird. It's kind of ass backwards. No, me, is spaz a swear word, or is it an insult down there? Because I know it is in the UK, or in a lot of places in the UK. They view it as like a derogatory term, right? But that's a nickname I've had. Like, fuck, Jared's known me for shit, man. How long have we known each other? 25-ish years, somewhere about there. 20 plus, anyway. And that's been my nickname the entire time. Not really. Yeah, hippie tree hugger. 23 years. Yeah, that's sure. That sounds about right. Something like that. But that's been my nickname the whole time. I could have went and pursued an ASD diagnosis, but I wanted to find out why my body hurt more. That's fair. It's so common anyway, nobody bats an eye anymore. Fair enough. Yeah, it's viewed as a derogatory. Funny too, now having MS. It's viewed as a derogatory term for epileptics, for people. I think it was people with cerebral palsy. Actually, is where it originated, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm pretty sure I'm right. So for like cerebral palsy and you know, people to... It's funny because now I literally am. This fucking jar of pills right here is to help with my spasticity. I shit you not. So it's almost poetic, I guess. Anyway. All right, so we did cover there what we did with the self-diagnosis. Not bad for a Canuckian. True story. And yes, you were right in the ballpark. It still counts in my mind. So what do we do with this information? First, I played Warhammer. The guy that happens to cerebral palsy. He held your paint. That was dangerous. Anyway. What do we do with this information? If you were one of the people that self-diagnosed through TikTok content, and that recognition is still real data, it pointed you somewhere. The question is whether you were pointed towards accurate information. Is kind of the magical underlying story here. Let me say that again for those who didn't quite catch it because I stuttered in between. If you self-diagnosed through TikTok content, which even means mine, or maybe it was what's his fuck, Matt, whatever, right? Whoever it didn't matter, whoever it was. If you diagnose yourself through that content, that recognition is still real data. It pointed you somewhere, right? When you went down the rabbit hole, you started somewhere. Did you start at the right place? Maybe not. I didn't necessarily when I was looking through the autism stuff. Did I end up in the right place? Yes. But if you start out somewhere, and maybe it's a bullshit website, if you start out there, where do you end up? That's what matters. Right? They say the journey is what matters. In this case, it's kind of the destination. Diagnosed before TikTok, learn all about my... Yeah, that guy. I heard he's something. Someone helped lead in my diagnosis, validated my feeling. 100%. All of you. This will go to every one of you. Your feelings on the matter and your life experience, the things you have gone through, the things you feel about it. 100% valid. 100%. No question. Sorry, it just occurred to me. I gotta switch over to this thing here. Here we go. If it made you think, then do real scientific research locating. Yes. Yeah, who'd have thunk? Who would have thunk, eh? And I bet he shook the paint well. I was lucky he had it since I was a child. Me too. Here's an AU prefix. Led to CT scan and MRI. Interesting. Yeah, good. And then that led to the, CTE or whatever? Which, that's something, honestly, that I should look into a little bit more. Just so that I can kind of do the Venn diagram between the two. Right? Because like I was discussing a couple of weeks ago about BPD and autism. Right? The Venn diagram there. And how they'll kind of... It's easier to select one over the other. You only got the anxiety label as a child. Not uncommon. Not uncommon at all. Right? Especially as a female presenting human being. But, yeah, anxiety or depression, right? Actually, we talked about that from an article. I don't think it was 2 weeks ago that we talked about that on a Wednesday. Was it actually, Dan, was that last week? Were you here last week? I'm trying to remember now. But we were talking about how it was last week. Yeah, there you go. It was last Wednesday. So the article will be up on my Substack, actually, if you want to look at if you want to check for that. We were talking about that, how getting one label and then they stop, right? They don't pursue any farther because they basically treat it like good enough, right? Like, yada yada, okay, we got you this, we got this, we got this for your information and your, diagnostic, your differential or whatever. Looks like anxiety. Okay, they stick you with that label and they don't go any further. So yeah, we literally fucking talked about that last week. Who'd have thunk? Who would have thunk? Before or during a formal assessment, go in curious rather than certain. For anybody who still tapping back to that Dunning-Kruger effect thing. Make sure that you go in curious rather than certain. You might be exactly right, or you might find out that the picture is more complex. Or you might be way the fuck out in left field. Right? Keep an open mind about these things. If a clinician tells you something different than what you were expecting, that is worth engaging rather than dismissing. Probably was Neurodivergent. She essentially said, I don't need a diagnosis, but I can if you don't really want to pursue it. Hooray. And just to wrap up, digital literacy around health content is a skill. Knowing how to evaluate a source is part of advocating for yourself. What I mean by that is the digital literacy part is the same. It's knowing what to look for in a source, an article, a study, right? I am not, especially with a lot of these studies that I'm looking at now, I need to have Claude fucking Englishify them for me, because I'm no pro at going through a medical study and, finding out exactly what I'm looking for, kind of thing, sifting out where the good info is. Fuck that. I will be the first to admit, I don't know heads from tails on that stuff. That's why I get an AI to read it for me. What does this mean? What the fuck is this even saying? Right? So I'm using a tool in order to help me with my digital literacy. If I go to a source, if I go to an article that was posted on some website about, the over abuse of diagnostic or being ADHD. Let's try that again in English. That'd be good. That was your first language. Prove it. You know how a few years ago they were saying that stimulants were basically being overprescribed, right? So if I went to an article that said that, would I know where to find any information on that wasn't bullshit? I think I would. Knowing me, I think I would, right? I would have better than average odds anyway. But that's also a part of advocating for yourself, is finding out this information that is good. Confirmation bias? Yeah, don't go in with a confirmation bias. Those of you who don't know what a confirmation bias is, basically that means looking for the information that you already think, right? That was something that when I was looking to get my autism diagnosis, I was afraid that, I fought hard against the idea that I would have a confirmation bias. Not against the idea that I would have it. I fought hard against, I tried really hard not to have one. There we go. We'll just simplify it to that. To all the research with the I don't have this and got proven wrong. But also, the I don't have this mentality is also something that can fall under a confirmation bias, right? And that could also be something about, what were we just saying about, come on words, you can do this. Basically about being curious rather than certain, right? Looking into ASD. I think you went in with an honest approach, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm remembering correctly, which, when it comes to my memory, never trust my memory. Never. Ever. Ever. trust my memory. But if I recall, I think you started, when the whole fad thing was going around, I think you started with an honest approach. And then went, yeah, no. Yeah, I doubt I have this, but I just went in being me. 4 minutes in, he jumped. See, when I first started seeing my therapist, my diagnostician, she nailed it within 15 minutes, she said. She said, within 15 minutes, I knew that you were autistic. Like, oh? I'm like, how? How the fuck did you know that? My speech patterns, my social cues, the fact that, well, the eye contact isn't really a diagnostic thing, but fuck the work I put in my folder. I mean, oh, you will look, sir. But anyway, my last point there on that, with the digital literacy, knowing how to properly advocate for yourself, that is a part of it. Having the digital literacy, having the knowledge, knowing where to look, knowing what to look for, knowing that if you find something that is bullshit, being able to sift through and weed out that bullshit, right? That's all a part of digital literacy. We're not perfect. It's easy to be fooled nowadays. Don't be too hard on yourself if you ever get fooled. It happens. And it's easy to do. It just means you have to look a little deeper and find something that will give you the correct information on that. Anyway, we're going, look at it now! And I looked at his shoes and I said, what are those? Anyway. Quit pulling your pen back up. TikTok gave a lot of people their first language that they ever had for their brains. That's real. That's matter. Honor that. Right? And I have to even say that for myself. Because I went for numerous years, from the time I was like 7 years old, just thinking I was lazy and stupid, essentially. Lazy, stupid, forgetful. And then, thank you, TikTok, it gave me the first real language to understand all of it. Or as much of it as I can, anyway. I mean, I'm still learning. The science is still evolving. Who knows, in 3 years, they may find out something that is completely counter. But that's how it works. Because science. Anyway, it also sent a lot of people down rabbit holes built on content that had no fucking business claiming to explain a neurodevelopmental condition. I'm not going to name names or point fingers in public. Anyway, both things are true. The job is holding both. Two things can be true at the same time. You may not like them, but they can be true. Family thought my forgetfulness was quirky. Yeah. Once upon a time, there were a lot of really helpful people on TikTok. Yeah. Yeah. You just had to hack through the asshats. Yeah. Want to know how I got my Facebook ban? Is that like, want to know how I got these scars? Ads incoming already. Look at that. It's almost perfect timing, too. Almost. Dick pics, that'll do it. Richard pics. Yes, pics are Richard. Yes, indeed. Anyway, that should, for the most part, I think, wrap that up. We're going to take another self-care break here, and then we will have a little more chitty chat. And then, yeah, I got some more questions to bounce back and forth with you. But in the meantime, grab yourself some water, a snack, do the dishes, pet the dog, take a run around the block. I don't know. Take a couple of minutes for yourself, and then
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Yes. Especially.
My demon daddy.
Welcome to another episode of Nobody Asked, the segment where we give you information that nobody asked for.
Triskaidekaphobia is the fear of the number 13, but don't tell Jay.
This has been Nobody Asked.
ADHD Incorporated present The Adventures of ADHD Man. Hello there, citizens.
Wow, it's ADHD Man.
Ha ha ha. Yes, and I'm here to deliver your superpower.
Cool.
Amazing, what's my superpower?
Imposter syndrome.
Yay, what's that?
Ha ha ha. Well, I'm glad you asked. Imposter syndrome is that little voice in the back of your head that tells you that you're a failure. You're a fraud.
Wait a minute.
That you're never good enough.
No, wait a minute. I thought you said this was a superpower.
Yeah, this sounds like shit.
Yeah, Susie.
Tune in next time as ADHD Man takes on the dysfunctional executive.
When Town Square is in need of a hero, there's only one man you can count on. When the treehouse is on fire yet again, there's only one name you can trust. And when the lounge needs a party machine to throw down, there's just one name you can call. Coming to channel ADHD Premium this summer. Robo Shoost. Part Man. Part Machine. All beard. Robo Shoost. Only on channel ADHD Premium this summer. Rated R.
Did the air conditioner give you COVID?
Did you eat some gummy bears and couldn't stop shitting for 3 days?
Did you attend a funeral and get locked in the casket when getting a last-minute cuddle with Aunt Gertrude? I'm JP Schuster.
And I'm CB Mooster. And we're here to fight for you. Automotive accidents.
Medical malpractice.
Workplace injury.
Robbed a weed shop.
Call Schuster and Mooster at 1-800-MOBSTER.
Hey, I'm talking here.
Go home, Vinny.
Schuster and Mooster.
Attorneys at law.
We're high as fuck.
Who drank my sunscreen?
By hiring Schuster & Mooster LLC, you acknowledge that no one should act or refrain from acting based solely upon the legal advice provided by Schuster & Mooster LLC without first seeking much better qualified legal and or professional advice.
From ADHD Interactive comes the ultimate test of attention. Focus Royale!
I have my drink right
Drop
here.
in, gear up, Try to complete one task before 99 other players distract you.
Wait, what are we doing?
Looting. Or laundry?
I don't know, but can you please shut that fucking cat up?
Shut up, muffins!
Featuring real-time distractions, phone notifications, snack urges, and the crushing weight of responsibility. Power up your dopamine meter. Unlock rare loot like accidental productivity and cleaned one spoon.
Did I win?
No, you just opened Spotify again.
Son of a bitch. Ooh, but I love this song.
Linda, your shitty music gave me a debuff.
Oh, sorry. Do a focus roll.
Focus Royale. Because attention is a battlefield. Rated R for relatable. Wishlist now. ADHD Incorporated. Gaming the system since we built it.
Feel the pulse, 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 pulse. Feel the sound, down, 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 down. Feel the sound.
Hit it again. Hit it again. Hit it again. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Feel the motion. Feel the motion. Feel the pulse. Feel the pulse.
Okie-dokie. Excuse me. If anybody told me that the music was off during the self-care break, sorry, I missed it. If you didn't, why didn't you fucking tell me? I didn't notice it was muted until like just a minute ago. Anyway, and I think I remember why, actually. But whatever. We'll get there. Because I know she's gonna watch the playback later. Hashtag bully Nadia. Yep, whoops. There were commercials. I mean, yeah, there's that. I mean, oh, okay. I don't know if that's what it's supposed to be used for. Said the guy who used to encourage girls to go sit on the subs. Anyway, never mind. Ignore me. That never happened. This is not the spaz you were looking for. Boombox under the till. Hey. That'll do it. So it is literally pointed at your crotch. Alright, cool. It may have been Harold. You just never know. All right, so out of all of that, there were a couple of questions that I kept finding, or maybe it was Jay. Who knows? There were a couple of questions that I found that kept coming up during my little dig through on that. One of them is, isn't any awareness better than nothing? Which is a good question, right? But that's a very nuanced answer. Awareness that sends people to formal assessments is good. Awareness that sends people to proper resources is good. Awareness that makes people more confident in wrong information and more likely to dismiss accurate clinical input is not good. We don't call that a net positive. Another one I found. My self-diagnosis was right though, which I hear a lot. I'm one who said it, right? It is absolutely possible and likely. Self-diagnosis accuracy is actually reasonable. It's actually reasonably good when people do the work. Again, that's why I'll die on that hill. If you go through the motions and do your part, then yeah, your self-diagnosis is 100% valid. But the issue, as always, is the quality of the information, not the act of self-diagnosing. So, for those, again, who don't have a formal, can't get a formal, don't have somebody in the area, can't afford it, just don't want to. If you do the work, your self-diagnosis is 100% valid. It absolutely is. Some people were asking, what sources should I use instead of XYZ? Diagnostic criteria from the DSM-5 TR is the most recent one, or the ICD-11, which generally covers a lot of Europe. Gothic, do you guys use the ICD in the UK? I don't 100% remember. I don't think so. I think you guys use the DSM. But I know a lot of Europe, the majority of Europe uses the ICD. But that's one of your, reliable sources. Your peer-reviewed journals, evidence-based advocates, or clinicians who actually listen. Both can be used. All right, there you go. There you go. As always, though, as I say from evidence-based advocate stance, don't always rely on me. If I say something, fact check me. Always fact check me, right? I may be confident in the information that I give you for the greater majority, but I can be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I can be corrected. And I'm okay with that. I don't need to be right. I need to be accurate. There's a difference. And one question that came up was, isn't this just gatekeeping diagnoses? I want to purchase one? How about I just give you one? You don't need to purchase it. Actually, if you go right to the ICD website, or the website where the ICD-11 is, you can download a PDF copy of it. That's where I got mine. You should be able to just download it right from them. As for the DSM, that one is a little harder. But if anybody needs a copy, I may have one. Just saying. Yeah, so the question, isn't this just gatekeeping diagnoses? The argument is not that people need a professional's permission to understand themselves. Because you don't. You don't need a professional opinion to understand yourself. It's the information ecosystem that you're using to understand yourself that is largely unreliable a lot of these places. And for a lot of these people in a lot of these situations, right? They're using shit information. They're using bad sources. And that's where it kind of looks like gatekeeping. Trust me, it's not. Because if somebody comes to me and, again, is 100% confident in, you know, I've got ADHD just because I left my keys at home, I'll be happy to send you to the right information to correct yourself. Whether that person listens or not, that's an entirely different matter. What do you need to understand yourself? I feel better at throwing it than I... So something to actually physically throw at them? I mean, you could print it out. That's a lot of fucking paper, though. Sure, you can fact check him. I'll get mad at you. It's 5 hours and record a video. I just got yeeted out the window. But that proves my point, Dan, doesn't it? At the time of the recording, the information was accurate. The information changed during the time of my recording. Turned out I was wrong 5 hours later, as I was ready to post. Yeah, thanks for the call out. It does, but he's still an asshole. Yeah, but he's our community asshole, and you know what? That's what he's there for. Honestly. That's part of what he's there for. That's part of what he does. Right? More important to be correct than it is right. Yeah. That's what I just said, man. I don't need to be right. I need to be accurate. I need to be correct. Because being right in that instance doesn't matter. Right? In any of those instances where you're arguing somebody that has other information than you do, right? I don't care if I'm right. I care if I'm accurate. I care if I'm correct. If I am not correct and I am arguing somebody, and I've got the wrong information, I'm the asshole. The guy, the video was oh yeah, 100%. 100%, he's a fucking punk. But say that for years, yep. E3. Alrighty. Well, she's getting about that time. Because it's Wednesday, I have got to take my kiddo to singing tonight. So yeah, there's that. And I'm not seeing anybody of interest right now, so fuck it. Oh, she is. I am gonna get out of here. We'll roll us the credits, and yeah, then I will catch you guys in the Discord, or I'll be back on Friday. One or the other. Oh no, both. How about both? Yeah, we'll be back on Friday. What am I doing? I still have an hour and a half of work. I'm sorry, man. But you know very well, especially with somebody as a teen, as a demon teen, the kids come first. What the fuck is Arl? I have no idea what I don't know what that is. I don't know what you're... Oh, it's... Okay. Fair enough. Then you don't know what it is either. Okay, good. I don't feel so bad not knowing what that is. Fair enough. Anyway, I will check you lovely fuckers in the Discord. Until then, drink your water, take your meds, be kind to yourself, turn on your autocorrect, bully Nadia, JK, give Nomi a pat on the head, even though she's a PETA, throw things at Dan, and, yeah, I don't know. Oh, I know. All hail to Demon Daddy.
Demon Daddy.
That's right. Until Friday. I'll see you then. Take care of yourselves. Ciao for now.